Kevin Feige's back in the news, tied to Star Wars for zero reason whatsoever. And we're here to talk about it. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Resistance Broadcast, TRB, the official podcast of StarWarsNewsNet.com. I'm John. Thanks for joining us today. We have a very good show today because not only are we a week away from Make Solo 2 Happen Day, right around the corner, you've been seeing the countdown. We got that going on. You saw the little trailer. Lacey cooked that up for us. We're very excited about that, but we're also just excited to be here talking about the latest in Star Wars news, rumors, all that sort of stuff, giving our takes on all that. And thank you for joining us as we go through that today. James and Lacey with me as always. James, let me ask you something, because I know you're a foodie, sort of. Chipotle doesn't exist. You're trapped, let's say you're on death row, and they're like, you get a final meal, but you cannot have Chipotle. What is James Baney eating for his final meal?
Take name brand out of it. You just go generic. I'm probably with Lacey. It's like steak, potatoes, and like asparagus or something. I don't know. Some nice vegetable. Maybe broccoli. Broccoli's pretty traditional, but I could see broccoli being bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to go something there. Even when it's kind of bad, it's still good, like asparagus.
Lacey, so you do the steak?
Always
steak. Yeah.
Steak
is it bad that I would get pizza?
No, because actually when you were asking him, I thought pizza in my head before I thought steak, actually.
Nice. Lacey, if we were both on death row for the same thing, like we did the same thing, like we paired up, we could do one of those eating challenges where we just get a pizza and just eat as much of it as possible. And if we did it, they let us go free. Something.
Is that a thing in jail? That's legit. That's like
the
government.
Yeah. Should be.
I like the idea.
Man versus food.
I like the idea that John says, "I want pizza," and then they bring him a ham pizza,
or like Domino's.
Oh god!
And he's like,
start the chair.
You guys got any pineapple?
I'd be like, just start the chair or whatever you guys do these days.
I am a little excited today because I'm getting my Mandalorian helmet today.
Ooh.
Oh, wait, which one is that? Is that the white one?
The one that you can wear, the Mandalorian one.
Oh, the Din Djarin one? Oh,
yeah.
Man, nice. Now,
and I should be having a Rey lightsaber any day now.
Wait, why? What happened? Who bought you a Rey's lightsaber?
No one.
Get out of here. Seriously? Someone just bought you one?
No, I paid for it. They went and bought it for me at Disney, and then I paid them.
All right, you don't have to say, do we know this person?
Yes, they're part of the Resistance.
Unbelievable. I know who it is.
I just don't want to embarrass them if they don't want people to know. So
No, I know. So I'm just gonna say it was me and just take credit for it. So we'll do that.
That is not accurate. You went down to Florida, picked me up, the lightsaber came up. Haven't given it to me yet. You put it in the mail. So
they do delivery. Little known fact.
Although I felt super dumb because they bought the hilt for me, which, first of all, I can't believe how crazy it was that they sold out. I like to think that Disney's thanking me for all the hype that I've made, that they sold out so quickly.
Hype is a big thing.
Yeah. And then I didn't know, and James would know this because he's been there, you have to buy the blade separately.
Oh, okay.
So the person then was like, do you have a blade? And I was like, no. So then they had to go get a blade for it because they just bought me the hilt.
Oh my god.
But it's fine. It's just I didn't know you had to buy the blade.
I don't think I did know that because I made my own lightsaber
in the workshop,
and I think that it just is part of the price
included.
Yeah. But I could understand if you just wanted a hilt that they would be like, do we really want to give everybody a blade? Because there's a good chance that a lot of these people are just going to display the hilt so they can itemize it and separate it. So I didn't know that, but that is interesting.
So
thank you for everyone that said that they were happy for me, because I'm happy for me too. And once I get it, I will do an unboxing video for you guys because I know how hyped you are for me.
Lacey's gonna get 10 of these in the mail.
The only thing that really bothers me about it, which people have commented on, is that you don't turn it on by turning the top thing around, like twisting it. It's a little switch on the back.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm hoping Hasbro, when they come through and make theirs, that it actually does do the twist.
Yeah. Or you buy
Weird.
like one of those $800 ones from one of those saber makers.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Unless you want to sponsor the podcast, then no.
But long
it
story
seemed
short,
like it would
getting
be a
lots of
hard
stuff
thing
this week.
that it would be a hard thing to fix or to create.
I don't
Lacey
know.
said that's why they may have been taking a long time. They were trying to work.
That's
it out.
what I think it was, because every other lightsaber has been a switch on. So this one also is a switch on. It's just not under anything. They like made it brown so it blends in with the handle, but it's still a switch.
Yeah, that's all right, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of hype, just so everyone knows, for everyone who likes Solo out there, hopefully you do. Next Monday, Make Solo 2 Happen Day, May 24th. Just if you love Solo and you want to see more Solo, use the hashtag all day. Make Solo 2 happen. And we're not sure if this is going to be the last time we do a Make Solo 2 Happen Day, but let's act like it is. And let's say, never tell us the odds. Use the hashtag. Let's have a great day. Let's have a fun day next week. And we'll talk more about it as we get closer. But
I don't know if we've mentioned this. We're having a live show that day. We haven't really done.
Oh yeah.
we forgot to mention. Yeah, I forgot.
So we are going
Yeah.
live that night, which is
I should
super
cancel
cool.
my plans.
So I can't wait to see what happens that day, so we can react with you guys that night.
In
It's gonna be a
lieu
big
of a
party.
regular episode too. It's not an additional.
Yes.
So there won't be an episode in the morning.
Yes.
But we'll go live at night.
No,
Yes.
we're not putting out a podcast that morning because
Correct.
we don't want to take the focus away from Make Solo 2 Happen Day. So we're gonna light it up at night and hopefully celebrate a celebratory day of positive love for a Star Wars movie that the three of us hold near and dear to our hearts, and hopefully you do too. And a lot of people have been joining the party. You've seen these people pop up, whether they're trade writers, people in the movie industry, directors saying like, you know what, that Solo movie, I was wrong. That's a pretty good movie.
People have been sleeping on it.
Yeah. But anyway, we're looking forward to next Monday. And if you don't like Solo, don't worry about it. It's okay. Just look the other way. All right. But hopefully you're looking this way because we have a good show here today. James, we have this little thing that we call the Resistance Report.
Good joke.
And so why don't you take us down that road?
It's the Resistance.
All right, this week we got some exciting news for all of Star Wars fans, right? This is kind of one of those things, I guess you could take it here or there if you had something planned or something along those lines, but the official announcement came and Star Wars Celebrations has been moved up to May 26th through the 29th, 2022, as opposed to the August dates before. So we're getting it sooner. And basically, as of now, or next week or something like that, it's 1 year away. Boom, that quick. It just happened that
Felt
fast.
so long before.
Yeah. So guys, we got to start planning some stuff, figure out how we're going to do all this. Lacey, I'm going to start with you on this one just because it's celebration. What are your thoughts on it moving up to a May date now?
It's surprising that they didn't do this to begin with, that they held off on it. I'm sure they were just kind of seeing how the pandemic went. But at the same time, it's not surprising because I said this when they initially changed the dates, that it was so close to not only Dragon Con, but also D23, which this event is split between Lucasfilm, Disney, which is Lucasfilm, and Reed Pop. So it kind of cannibalized the ticket sales for both events, and it was just too much. So this way they can split it up a little bit. So if one person can make one and they can't make the other, and then also that's two separate events that they won't have exhibitors and companies picking between the two of them. They'll go to both because there's such a good distance between them that it'll make sense money-wise. I'm pumped that it's May. I really love these dates. The first one in Anaheim, I believe was it April, early May? But it was like a perfect time. It was great weather. It wasn't too hot. Like August, it gets hot there when I went for D23.
That's a great point.
So it's going to be nice. I know we're really excited. We already booked hotels as like a backup plan B because I'm crazy for plan A, which is the hotel block. I know people have a lot of questions. I've seen that online, so we're going to answer some later in the show. But just know that all the information that you're looking for, so like tickets, hotels, guests, panels, all that stuff, it's coming. They just have to initially give you the dates first. And then all that stuff's going to come later.
Traditionally, looking back all the way to Celebration 1, it was in April, May, July, August, July, April, and now May.
Mm-hmm.
So
Those are months.
August, yeah. August, the 2 August dates are the furthest it's ever gotten, and that was Celebration 5 and 6 back in 2012 and 2010.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's been April.
It's a good time in California. It's really nice weather, so I hope people enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I've only been to California I've been there 3 times, and it's been December every time.
Ooh.
Oh, April, May's a great time.
Yeah, I'm looking
can
forward
get a
to
little
it.
chilly
I
at
didn't
night.
think
It's
about
nice.
that like August would be very just balmy. And
Oh, it's terrible. When I went to D23, it was
people would be grumpier.
Yeah.
Which would be worse, though? Like, so the celebration we were at was like freezing, like snow.
Oh,
it was
obviously
snowing.
we'll take
Yeah.
warm weather over cold weather, but
Yeah.
I would rather be cold than sweat. That's just me. So I prefer the snowy weather because I'm going to be inside anyway. Whereas this weather allows you to go to Disneyland. It's literally a 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful. I can't wait. I still stand by that Celebration 2015 was my favorite one just because of the location. My own personal experiences and interactions with people obviously is 2019, but the show itself, 2015, is just like so great.
Yeah. Do I get a setup, James, or should I just start talking?
Yeah, I think you should just start talking, John, because there's not much I can lead into other than, what are your thoughts on it being in May?
Obviously, it's like, that kid waiting with the advent calendar for Christmas, and it's just like, now I just reduced 25% of the time off my weight. So it's really exciting that it's only a year away. It makes me also wonder, what does that mean for what they're going to show us? And in other words, like, I don't know that I was trying to think in my head, like, well, Kenobi's filming now. It's their first season. I don't know if they'll be able to turn it around by spring. Is it going to be a summer release, or are we going to see like the first 7 minutes of Kenobi before everybody?
They have
like we did
kept
with
good
Mandalorian?
stuff for other shows. That's the problem. Like the
Yeah.
John Williams concert with all the lightsabers
Yeah.
they saved till San Diego with Harrison
Yeah, so-
Ford, and it's
I'm like, in my head, I'm like, there's going to be some kind of, there may even just do a panel just for the Kenobi series, and maybe they bring out Liam Neeson, and it's just this big, huge like thing. And then I start thinking, like, are they going to announce stuff? And and by the way, for the people wondering, we asked you to submit questions to us about Celebration, specifically, life hacks and how to take advantage of your situation the best. And Lacey's going to answer a lot of those, but we're all going to answer them in the back end of the show. So we'll tackle those later. So when we move on to our next story, don't think we're skipping over that stuff. We will get to that.
Already covered
Ask the
that, John.
Resistance. Yeah. What?
already said that.
Oh, I missed something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I am very excited about it. I know, we had such a good time as my first celebration in 2019, and I look forward to, meeting new people, seeing old friends, seeing people who we didn't get a chance to hang out with last time, all that stuff, and going to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to be my first time there. So there's so many reasons to be happy about it, and I think 2022 is just going to be like a beast year for Star Wars content, which is good for us as a podcast too, of course. So I'm just pumped, to put it simply.
John, are you ready to eat every single food at Galaxy's Edge with me? Because we're going to do it.
Oh yeah, I'm down to do that. Yeah.
I don't think you can.
I don't even know, like,
single food.
You could take
Yeah, as long as
take
there's
like
not
a
ham
little
on
bit
it.
of everything.
Well, that's
I
what
don't
I'm
think you
saying. Like
could-
a
yeah.
couple bites of each. I'm not saying
Yeah.
literally eat every single thing, but
Um,
I'm gonna have to do the green milk versus blue milk. That's the big debate.
Yep.
Most people like
Yeah.
blue better.
I was gonna say I thought the consensus was that blue was better.
Do they have a Thala siren in there that I could just drink right from the nipple, or is that not a thing?
No, it's not a thing, you weirdo.
It should be. No.
I want the full experience.
Yeah, exactly. No, this is interesting to me though, because the thing about Celebration being moved up, I think in my head, is the biggest thing about it is understanding what they're going to reveal now that it has been moved. So, I don't know when we're going to have a little bit of time to maybe speculate on those types of things, probably over the course of the next year. But, a couple things like, the way they roll out the shows as far as like Book of Boba Fett coming out, and then Mandalorian season 3, and then when does Kenobi, because we know that, it's coming out that year. So I think that's probably my biggest takeaway from it being moved up to May is how does this change everything, considering, we spent last year speculating on what would have been, and then we've been seeing some of those announcements roll out. And we're like, oh, this was probably planned for Celebration, and it didn't happen. Now that it's in May, I think their schedule has to change, or their like programming has to change, because they can't do everything that they were planning to do in August now in May. So yeah. I think that's probably the biggest thing to take away from the May thing. And then, like I said earlier, just start it at the beginning of the show. Like, it's only 1 year away now. That seems crazy, Yeah. So changing it so rapidly, and then now, I don't know, it being so soon. That's crazy. I don't know.
Well, it's also, Book of Boba Fett's going to already have been out. Mm-hmm. That's coming out this December. And we don't know how long that runs. And the question is, are they releasing one of these other shows? Like, is Cassian going to come out next winter? Or are they going to push that? Like, once we start getting these dates on, which I don't know why we don't have them yet. Marvel's like, yeah, this show's coming out in 2027. And we know that. Lucasfilm's like, we're not sure. Once we get the dates on like when Andor comes out, or when like the date for Kenobi, they're like June blank. We're like, all right, a month before, that means we're going to get 6 minutes of the first episode of Kenobi. And, like we're going to be able to piece them together once we get dates, I guess, for the shows. But
Kenobi's coming out in 2022, right?
That's got to be the assumption.
Yeah, got to be the assumption. Okay. But then, yeah, that runs
now.
Yeah, that runs into Andor, and that gets tricky. Yeah. I don't know.
And Andor, I don't know how much longer I heard they're filming that into summer too.
Yeah,
that's longer than Kenobi. Kenobi's like 6 episodes. Andor, did they say 12 episodes? Am I just making that up?
I don't know.
For Andor?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't know that they said the episodes, but I feel like they said that it was ongoing, so there would be filming like a season 2.
But they did, yeah, I think I did one of the official reports. They said they were filming into like summer at Pinewood. So I don't know that show's going to be ready before Celebration. So maybe like they moved it up so they predate the release of these shows too. I mean, aside from like you said, the D23 clash and.
Mm-hmm. I mean, depending on how Obi-Wan films, they could end up showing the first episode at Celebration.
The full episode?
Yeah.
I wonder if they do that. I know they did that for the animated show, but...
I was going to say, I can't imagine they do that. And one of my Celebration speculations is that they show the first episode of Bad Batch Season 2.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But they can show the first 15 minutes. They've done that before, especially Marvel. Marvel loves to do that at Comic-Con, especially New York Comic-Con. They always showed the first episode of Jessica Jones, Defenders, Daredevil.
Yeah.
So if Disney's falling into what they've done with Marvel, they might do that for Star Wars as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With Mando, they gave us like 7 minutes.
That's because it wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
True. Yeah, that is a good point. That was about 7 months out.
Well, speaking in comparison to Marvel, John, you teased this up at the beginning, is that there's an unnamed Disney executive that I guess just wanted to be off record or whatever, but they said Kevin Feige has no ambition to take over the leadership role at Lucasfilm, and that they're fully vested. He's fully vested at Marvel. So big news, right? Big surprise here. I'm going to go ahead and start with you on this one. What are your thoughts on this once again being another story?
Yeah, it's a little different than, I think our episode last month was Kevin Feige confirms Kevin Feige is not running Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
And now it's a Disney executive saying Kevin has no ambitions to, in the future, run Lucasfilm. So, like, Feige tackled the rumor that he was really behind the scenes pulling the strings. And now a Disney executive is saying he doesn't even have interest in the future. But it is interesting that they know that, which means a conversation happened where, you don't go on record, even though you're not putting your name out there, saying that man has no ambition to do this if you haven't had some sort of conversation about it. Because Kevin Feige may be like, I never said that. I'd be totally down to do that, So there had to have been some sort of like at least talk or something like that. And then on the flip side of that, Kevin Feige being entrenched with what's going on here at Marvel. Again, he's just doing his movie that he's producing for Lucasfilm, which they said there's no timeline on that yet. So that's not even, there's nothing going on with that yet. That's still just out there in the announced clouds up here. But yeah, I do always find this interesting because even though Kevin Feige debunks it in the current and past tense, now those rumors come up again like, well, he's in line. He's in next up. So then they're like, no, he's not interested at all in the future either. So now these people who cook up these stories are going to be like, I'm out of tenses. I can't do present, past, or future. I don't know where to put this guy to take over Lucasfilm because we just want him to be in there so bad. So hopefully this is the nail in the coffin. I don't know if it's going to be, but it is interesting that executive also said that they view him as like the top of their, executives. That's an interesting thing to say. And I don't think someone like Kathleen, she probably didn't care. She's like, you think I care? Really? But that it's interesting that those types of things are thrown out there. And, it's from Variety. This isn't from, smacknerdgobbers.net. This is like a real trade that puts out real news, and they have legit context. So you have to buy everything that's in here is pretty solid. And we'll see where it goes from here. It feels like the Rian Johnson thing, where no matter what happens and who says what, every few months that thing gets cooked up again, and for whatever reason, these bogus stories get take off, and all these big accounts like run with them and stuff, and it's maddening. But you got to go by this stuff here. This is the good stuff here.
Lacey, what are your thoughts on this whole debacle? Does it make what do you think about what John was saying too with them saying that they think he's like number one executive? I think that's interesting.
I think that it's ridiculous that we're still talking about this story on a regular basis because he said it from his own mouth that this is not true, and yet some reason people keep driving the story as like, oh well, he's not lying because he did this, or oh, he might be lying because of this. No, he's pretty straightforward. He's been honest about every single thing with Marvel. Why would he then change his story with Lucasfilm and go to this like secretive thing? He doesn't gain anything by being secretive about it. So it just drives me nuts that like YouTubers are using this story in every which way possible to be like, oh yes, he did this, or oh, he had a hand in this. No, he didn't. And you heard it from his own mouth. So stop, first of all, calling him a liar. And second of all, take the news for what it is. Because you have these big trades that are telling you directly what the truth is. And their response is like, oh, well, that's not the truth because no, it is. Why would they report it if it wasn't? Because they usually have to check these things with multiple sources. As for Kevin Feige being number one, that doesn't surprise me. He makes the most money out of anybody there. Like, he's made Disney so much money that he can pretty much do whatever he wants. And I've said this before. If Kevin Feige ever did go to Lucasfilm, I'd be so excited. But at the end of the day, he's all about Marvel. That's what he's doing. And people need to stop putting words in his mouth or putting actions in what he's done because it's ridiculous. It's great.
Yeah.
And just from real quick, James, the business perspective of it, I think we talked about this last time, where it's just if he was involved with Lucasfilm, like shareholders would want to know that information as a good thing.
Absolutely.
Look at the money he's made the company for
Give
Marvel.
us your money.
Like,
yeah.
Disney wouldn't hide the fact that Kevin Feige was working on Star Wars. That'd be the last thing they would do. They would be like, bright lights, headline on every newspaper, ding, 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 look over here. Kevin Feige is working on Star Wars.
Photo of him with him and Kathleen, like, yeah.
Buy the shares. Yeah, so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a story that we've run down. This very clearly he has stated it so many times, so I'm not saying that. I would think that if there is something in his head that says at some point I want to go over to Star Wars, I think that the biggest connection is the fact that he's doing that movie.
He's producing it though.
He's producing the movie, yeah. And I think that one little thing, if that fact wasn't there, then I think people would lay on this story less than it already is. You know what I mean? That's like 1 foot over there, and I think that's kind of where it comes from. And if there is something in his head that says maybe down the line I do want to go Star Wars, it would be after he does the movie. and it's like you said, John, it's in the middle, it's in that cloud of like announced, but we don't know when it's happening. So even if this
no timeline,
even if this story was true, which it's not, that he's actually thinking it's not going to be at least until he messes with Star Wars at all. He has so much going on with Marvel right now. He's on top of a mountain. There's no reason to.
They have 7 movies coming out in the next year? I'm pretty sure he's pretty busy.
Yeah,
and a lot of series, right?
Yeah, and TV shows. Yeah,
all that was not even including. All these. Yeah, the series. Yeah, it was just like the main movies. So really crazy. Good for him for doing what he's doing. That's awesome. Again, going back to he's the top executive. Yeah, makes total sense.
There is one little part in here that's a little an offshoot that they talked about that was interesting, and it is maybe a reassuring type of thing, is that the transfer of powers from Bob Iger to Bob Chapek. Chapek operates a little bit differently than Bob Iger, where Bob Iger is more of a, let me hear what you think about this. Bob Chapek apparently is like, this is what I want to do. He does it in a good way, they say, but he's like very more direct and like, this is what I want. And then Alan Horn stepping down and Bergman taking over as the sole chair apparently said they like the aspect of all the studios under the Disney umbrella still operating with their own creative autonomy, so that it's not we're going to overhaul everything and this is how you're going to do stuff. It's still Lucasfilm, you're going to do your way, Marvel, you're going to do your way, and so on down the line, Pixar or whatever. And I personally like that, because it's still, you're still making sure that those, brands, what we're getting from Lucasfilm is, a Lucasfilm product. Whether Disney says like, we like that or don't like that, it's one thing. But if it was all mixed together and given the same blueprint and stuff, that I don't like that. So that was good. That was a good one final thing that was good to see.
And just because Lucasfilm isn't doing what Marvel's doing, like, it's not like any other studio is. Marvel's an anomaly. Like, what they're doing right now is absolutely crazy. It's not like you see Pixar doing an event where they're like, and then we're doing this movie and this movie and this movie and this movie, and they're all like originals and sequels and crossover events and everything. It's not like they're doing that stuff. They announce movies as they do, and if we were a Pixar podcast, we'd probably be like, why aren't they announcing anything? This is crazy.
Well, true. Like, do you ever see that movie Yesterday about the guy who something happens where he's the only person in the world who knows about the Beatles?
And he steals all their songs, yeah. I couldn't make it through it. I got it like halfway through and I was like, this movie sucks. I love Lily James ever since I saw Baby Driver, so it's easier for me to watch that. But I enjoyed the movie. But the point is, I guess, I view Marvel a little bit, and don't come at me, Marvel fans, hear me out. I view Marvel a little bit like that, where people are like, wow, how'd you write that song like so quick? And he's like, well, I got the songs already. And that's how Marvel has these like decades of comics, and they're like, well, we know that this story ties to this. They already have the source material there, where Star Wars is like, we got to kind of write from scratch now and create all this new stuff. They may be connected to with these characters, but Marvel's like, well, we know this story. We can refurbish this story and how this character tied into this. So they have the cheat codes a little bit. They have the up, down, left, right, A, B, start for making movies.
John, you didn't make any Marvel fan mad. You made all Legends fans mad.
Look, I mean, we know they're not. Yeah, we know they're not retelling those stories. So I hope I didn't make anybody who's the Legends fan mad. But.
Nah. Well, if you guys are, if we're all wrapped up with that, I want to talk a little bit about this Ewan McGregor appearance, talking about Kenobi on Jimmy Kimmel last week, I guess. But yeah, did you guys watch this video? I found it super fun, super entertaining, and I was laughing through the whole thing, basically everything he said. Lacey, I want to start with you on this one. What are your thoughts on Ewan McGregor on Jimmy Kimmel?
He is just living his best life right now. And I saw this in the video from the way he was smiling the whole time and laughing. I did love his little kind of comment about leaks, although he called them reveals, where he said it's just bad for fans with all the reveals. And I'm like, yes, Ewan, I love that, because I just think fans should experience things the way they're meant to be experienced, especially like character reveals and stuff like that. which we've had in-depth conversations about. But I think the coolest thing was him talking about Darth Vader's dressing room, and then seeing him with the bearded look and everything, which we saw photos of him like that, but to see him on camera like that. And the thing that stuck out to me was him talking about May the 4th and him shooting a special scene with someone. I want to say it's Yoda. Some people think it's Qui-Gon Jinn, the ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn. I kind of feel like it's Yoda because he said he's never really shared a scene with this person, kind of. So if it's Yoda, the puppet from Last Jedi, he wouldn't have shared a scene with that puppet, but he would have shared a scene with Frank Oz because it's CG, but...
Yeah. John, do you have a speculation on that?
A little bit.
I do too. Do you want me to wait?
I just also want that. I'm also coming from a place of that's what I want to see, so I'm hoping that's what it is.
I don't think it's Yoda because I think he considers himself having shared the screen with Yoda. But he also said it's some like his.
He said it was
very...
someone that he's never shared the screen with. So then I went into riddle mode and I was like, okay, well technically.
But he also said it was someone very important
close,
in his life,
special to him. Yeah.
Well,
so I think.
I took that as new to his life.
Did you?
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Well, maybe I should say mine because I bet you're more right than me.
Mine, the more I think about it, is ridiculous. But I'm go ahead.
well, my speculation on that is the young Luke, like the kid.
Because Luke Skywalker is important in his life. You're saying?
Yeah, no, the kid, the actor.
I'm saying the character Luke Skywalker is important in his life, so that's why he would say that, but it's not technically...
Maybe, but what I'm saying is I think Ewan is saying that the kid who he got to work with, whoever the actor is very special to him because he's just a wonderful person. Like, I think he's saying it. I got to share the screen with someone that, is very special to me. Like, I like this person. They have a very special bond in the show, not just him and Luke, but him and the actor is how I took it. And then does he share the screen with Luke? He technically did, but it was a baby. You know what I mean? So I kind of just took that as it was probably Luke. I don't know what
he was all over the place. He was like, did I not? And you're like, what?
Yeah.
I have like a serious one and then like a one that is ridiculous. So which one should I do first?
Go for the ridiculous one, I guess.
The ridiculous one is that they're gonna de-age him and he's gonna act with his uncle Dennis Lawson, who's returning as Wedgie Antilles.
They're gonna de-age.
What would that make sense in the frame
Dennis
of the
Lawson.
story, though?
I don't know. Wedgie's everywhere. Why wouldn't he show up?
Because it's just someone very special to him.
Although Wedge is probably supposed to be like 25. Dennis Lawson's like 80. I don't know if they're gonna pull that off.
Yeah.
So that's ridiculous. The other one, I think he brought in like one of his daughters, and he's filming he got to film with one of his kids during a scene or something, and he thought it would be special for them to be a part of it. That's what I think it is. So, and it's probably he said I got to I don't know, make a scene or do a scene, however he put it, a very special scene on May the 4th with someone very special in my life. And he hasn't acted with them before. I don't think he's acted with his daughters before, as far as I understand it. So
that makes sense.
I think one of his daughters has a cameo as a small role, and he may have done a scene with them, and that's my guess.
That'd have been cute. Or will be cute.
I think I also, and not that productions would ever do anything.
His daughter plays a crate dragon too.
Oh,
Not that productions would ever do anything too, but I also took into account like what they might do if they were like, hey, today is Star Wars Day, today's May the 4th, so we planned this scene specifically. And I thought that it could encapsulate Luke as well. You know what I mean? Because they're at that homestead, you know what I mean? And then Obi-Wan's there, and it's kind of a big Star Wars-y moment. So they did it very special for that day, and I don't know. That being said too, I loved talking about him riding a unicycle, and I also liked him talking about mispronouncing Chumbawanga. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy. Really
it
charming.
was like Jimmy Kimmel trying to be very clear about how they had multiple songs or whatever. And Ewan McGregor's like, I only know one Chunga Wunga song.
he's very chill and like relaxed, and he's charming in that way because he comes across like it's not, whatever he's doing is not that big of a deal. But he seems really happy to be back, and he looks good. He looks too good. That's the problem. So I still think they're going to gray him up in makeup. But well, I got to mention Darby, who wrote the article for us in Star Wars Newsnet. His speculation is that the person is his girlfriend, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who he did a scene with. So who knows?
That's his girlfriend?
Maybe an option.
I didn't know
That's
that.
according to Darby. I didn't fact check it. Sorry, that's my job, but I didn't do it. Yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting, but Kimmel's funny though because he's like he's just like anyone else. He's a Star Wars nerd. Him and Colbert are both that way, where they try to get the juice just for themselves as a fan. So he just throws it out there. He's like, Darth Vader's dressing room, even though that was already confirmed. And Ewan's like, maybe he's not on the show. He's like, no, they already confirmed that. He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I forgot about that part. The interesting thing with that too was Jimmy Kimmel jumping to conclusions there, because did they ever announce that Darth Vader was in the show? They said Hayden Christensen. They did Darth Vader, the name Darth Vader. Oh,
yeah. They said Hayden Christensen's returning as Darth Vader.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. Because I was curious because the way he says Darth Vader and then he says I don't think that's confirmed. And I thought it was maybe like, oh, maybe Darth Vader's not, but Hayden is, and that's like a young Anakin flashback thing. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I wanted to talk too a little bit about a new filming set. Andor is moving now, or getting ready to move to Dorset, England. And there's a set here. We're not actually, John, I'm going to let you talk about this a little bit, but as far as I understand, we're not 100% sure that this is for Star Wars. It just very much seems like it would be, considering schedules and stuff. But if you guys are at all interested, you can head over to the article, which is in the description of the video at StarWarsNewsNet.com, and you can look at all the photos of this set and how we've come to conclude that it probably is for Andor. So, John, what do you thought?
Yeah, so the belief is that, as far as people understand with registries for filming productions and stuff, there's not much filming over there right now for Star Wars that other than this. And a lot of these things look very Star Wars in terms of the objects and set pieces and that sort of thing. And it's coastal, not that far, as far as I understand it, from the previous location that we obviously confirmed was for Andor because Diego Luna was there. So all signs point to this being that, and I believe it's a 10-day shoot. So it looks like whatever this is, my guess would be it's the same location in Star Wars because it's still on that coast there. And, whatever this planet is, hopefully it's a new planet. It could be Scarif, who knows? But because remember, they had the fake palm trees for the last shoot. So I don't know. The last one was Cleveley's, I believe is the correct way we're supposed to say that. But now they're moving
Everyone
on to...
made fun of you guys in the comments so hard.
And that's fine. I mean, whatever. Go ahead, you bullies. Bullies.
I think it was Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah. One
of the comments was like, people don't say Shire, they say Sure. And the thing to remember is here in the U.S., everything is Cheshire. Like,
right.
They'd say it Sure. Berkshire,
right.
Not Berkshire.
Sure.
So, just a little understanding that here in the U.S. we say it differently.
Frodo lives in the Sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So Dorset, England, I believe Mark Newbold reported this as well, and, that's his neck of the woods, closer than us anyway. And he went with it, that it's Andor. So, we all believe that is the case, and I think they're trying to do all this location stuff now, and then it sounds like they're going to pick up and do a lot of the rest of the shooting back at Pinewood, where we saw all those cool sets that look very prequel-y and that sort of thing. So once they get all the location stuff down, barring any reshoots or that sort of thing for location-based stuff, they're heading indoors, which is probably for a lot of the meat and potatoes that they're trying to keep a lid on. But Andor, I like this stuff, and I'm curious what they do with it.
Lacey, any speculation on the set here? Do you think we'll be able to see pictures once they start filming, or do you think they'll close off those top trails as well?
I think they're going to get more cautious on who's taking pictures once those other ones leaked, especially with Cassian on film. I think you're going to see more screens and stuff up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone at Disney went, no.
Yeah,
Can't happen.
I thought that was really crazy that they just didn't have that blocked off very well. And this one, like you say, screens, but like I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, like they can't put like a giant tent over this.
You know what they do? They hang animals as bait and catch them in nets. All these guys taking pictures.
Yeah. Or
like Chewbacca in Return of the Jedi. Get
exactly like Chewbacca in Return
or
of the
stakes
Jedi.
coming out of the ground with stormtrooper helmets on them.
That'll keep them.
No, they usually make big screens, like big walls with canvas
Lacey,
on.
why can't I have my fantastical situation where we catch these guys in nets?
Because nobody's actually looking for Verkels. All over
I
the
knew
place.
that too. Don't even try me.
The last thing that we wanted to talk about this week is that supposedly the sequel for Jedi Fallen Order is being worked on by Respawn, and they are targeting a 2023 release. This news is just kind of comes from Game Reactor, which is a UK company, and they they just understand it. It's like it's obvious that they are going to do this and that they have been working on it for a very long time. And all of this to say that on May 4th, we got Cameron Monaghan, who also put out his video. It looks like he's in training and he's been working on some stuff. By the way, I did not see that video until this article, and I was like, holy crap, how did I miss this?
I shared that in Discord.
I know, but I just...
Sanity.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
He makes like, I mean, I'm Ray Park's the guy, but he can rival him. That was some sick stuff that kid was doing.
That could happen canonically.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah.
That could happen. So I don't know. I guess they say at this point, maybe look forward to that. Maybe that's a celebration thing that we can look forward to, that it will be nearing the end of its production and getting ready to launch by the time Celebration rolls around in May. So that is it for the Resistance Report this week. I'm going to shoot it over to you, Lacey, as we're going to do the Patreon pod race.
All right, guys, we're back with the Patreon pod race. So there are lots of ways you can support us. You can like this video, comment, subscribe, follow us on all the different audio apps from Spotify to Apple Podcasts, etc. You can follow us on Twitter at RBATSWNN and on Instagram at The Resistance Broadcast. And if you want more, including exclusive content, mailings, Discord servers, and other cool things on the way, you can head over to patreon.com/resistance broadcast. Starting at $2 a month, you support the podcast and what we're doing and what we have planned for the rest of this year. And as you said, we talked about at the top of the show, coming up next year with Celebration, we have lots of stuff that we want to accomplish and get done, and you guys are helping us do that. So before we head into the actual segment, which is letting generals be a part of the show, we want to take a second to thank those generals, which are our top tier. So thank you, CARMELO, Andrew Staley, Jeremy Myers, NEEL, SHAH, David PROBUS, John RISI, Micah Harrison, Jetta Rosewater, Michael Gaines, Kendall Gelnar, Paul Olson, Jake Houchins, Jeff Connery, Oliver Lewis, Dave Hornack, Frank Grande, Ryan Wara, Haas Aslam, Joe Ritchie, Darth Hurricane, Timothy Hill, and Val Trichkoff. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It means so much to us. This week, oh my gosh, there's so many people. This week, we have General Jeremy Myers. What up, Jeremy? And we asked him, what is your favorite scene from your least favorite Star Wars movie? Ooh. So, Jeremy, take it away.
What's up, guys? How's it going? So I'm going to rock the boat here, and I know I'm going to make one member of the panel upset, but my favorite was seeing Kylo die in Rise of Skywalker, my least favorite movie. And I audibly cheered in the theater, and people looked at me because I was so happy. I was not happy with him as a villain. I did not like the direction of the character. He didn't strike fear in the hearts of the Resistance like Vader did or Palpatine did. I don't know, seeing Kylo die and him move on was a very, very happy moment for me. So that's what I got. Hope you're all well, and look forward to continuing to watch you guys. Jeremy.
Jeremy, I'm going to go old school with you for a second and ask, I have a lot of questions. First of all, how dare you? But I'll let John start off. Go ahead, John. Which I didn't even plan this. I'm matching right now.
Hey, Jeremy. Not cool. Okay? Not cool. JJ's back, baby. Yeah, Jeremy. I mean, I love the Rise of Skywalker. I know you don't, and that's cool. But I like your honest answer. Way to be a rebel, man. It's basically standing up and cheering in the theater.
Literally the week after I said this is the one change I'd make, he was like, "You better not."
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you made it out alive, man. Yeah. So, yeah. But it's always good to see you. Great job, and I love bringing in your daughter for the General Jeremy out. That's like you have like a catchphrase. Like none of the other generals do that. You say General Jeremy out every time, and I appreciate that. So it's good to see both of you on there, and hopefully I know you're a big Celebration guy. That's we hung out with you last time, so I really look forward to seeing you again next year. Hopefully we do. It's in your neck of the woods, sort of. So great job on the pod race as always. Thanks for all your support. Thanks for being such an awesome Star Wars fan. And choosing to be part of the Resistance. So thanks, buddy.
James?
Yeah, no, I agree with all that. It's funny that you can not like a movie but still have those like things that you're like, well, at least they did this. Because I know there were tons of people who were very vocal about how that character should live, and then you had the exact group that leading into the movie, leading up to it, is that no, that guy was irredeemable. He killed Han Solo. It doesn't matter what they do in subsequent movies. This guy killed my favorite character or whatever, and he's just irredeemable. And I don't know if that's exactly how you feel, Jeremy, but when you're happy to see a character killed off, it tends to be because you dislike that character in canon or something along those lines, right? For whatever reason. So yeah, I wish more people all had at least a few things that they say they liked about a movie, and we didn't just jump to the it was complete garbage the whole time. So good question, and good answer. So thank you.
Jeremy, I'm still kind of upset that this was your answer, but I will get over it. And I appreciate your honesty, like we've been saying, because this is the best thing about Star Wars, that everybody has a different opinion about everything, and some people like things and some people don't, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But now we're going to go to John and get into some Celebration questions. John?
All right, a little bit of a different vibe here, but this is technically Ask the Resistance.
I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
And we have Star Wars Celebration questions, specifically about, some people ask, how do I get tickets? I'm like, go to the Celebration website. You don't come here for those questions. This is kind of...
They will put them for sale probably a week or two after they do the June 11th refund inventory check. That's my answer.
Yeah. I just mean all the logistics stuffs, that's their headache. Let them handle it. This is mainly for your little hacks on how to get the most out of your experience. What's the best way to do this? Blah blah blah. And you sent a bunch of cool questions. And Lacey used to work for Celebration. She helped. I'll just speak for myself. In my opinion, she helped me and James get through very smoothly our first Celebration, and that was because I would have spent most of my time trying to figure stuff out. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd been in New York Comic Con, but Celebration's a different animal, especially when we were there, working, so to speak, doing all this stuff. So Lacey really took charge and helped make that a smooth ride for TRB. And I know a lot of you asked her questions last year in our Patreon servers and all that, or 2 years ago in our Patreon servers. I think we had Twitter chat then. Was it still the Twitter chat?
No, we still had Discord when we were buying tickets and stuff.
Oh, we did? Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, it's 2019 Celebration. We may have
Twitter chat,
yeah. But anyway, you ask a lot of questions, and we're going to try to answer those for you. So let's get into them now. So Aaron Owanya at Aaron Owanya. Way to get your handle, Aaron.
Yeah.
Way to go, Aaron.
So that he doesn't have that question. How to get your handle. I already figured that out. Aaron's question is, how would you make the best out of a one-day pass? So, Lacey, why don't you start the show off here?
This episode's full of throwbacks for me. Another throwback. This is what I said for 2019. It still stands true, and I think a lot of people appreciated this piece of advice, is pick one or two things that you must do, that like you have to either see this celebrity, get this autograph, go to this panel. One thing that is your must do, and then everything else is bonus. As long as you get to do that one thing that you want to do. And I'll never forget it. Someone came up to me after our panel and said the one thing they wanted to do was meet me. And It was so, I almost started crying. And it was so thoughtful. But just picking one thing that you want to do, and then you're not disappointed because it only sets up the expectations for that one thing. Now, if it's like getting in a panel that's difficult to get in, that's going to be a little tough. But I would pick something like meeting someone, going to a specific booth, seeing a celebrity, that type of thing. That is somewhat easily doable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The one quick thing I'll add to that is, let's say there is a big panel or whatever, whether it's for a movie or show, and you don't get the pass for it, however they operate it. Find a communal space where people are watching it on big screens, because James and I took it that way, and we wound up meeting a bunch of people, saw people from old, some new people, and we had a really good experience. I would say take some time on the show floor and talk to fellow Star Wars fans, because it's a shot in the arm of good feeling, and it reminds you what real Star Wars fans are all about. And that'd be what I'd say. At least take some time to do that. But
yeah, if I had anything, I found that the best thing for me whenever there's like a huge thing, and this goes back to my time at Warped Tour too, but like when you see the schedule, you just start at like 10 a.m. or whatever and be like, okay, so from 10 to 11, what are all the things that are happening, and go through them and say, out of these 7 things that are happening on 7 stages, this is where I want to be, you know what I mean? And then look at 11 to 12, and then look at 12 to 1. And you'll have to make hard decisions, 2 things that you want to do are probably going to be at the same time. But when you look at the schedule, when you finish, you will have glanced over the entire day, and you will know what are the best things at these times. And you'll be pretty happy with your schedule through the day.
Yeah, we made a schedule ourselves in advance. Mm-hmm. Like we got together separately and went through the schedule together and picked things that each of us were doing. And then I transferred that to a separate schedule that I then printed out that said like where things were, who was doing what type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and bring deodorant, hand sanitizer, and mints or gum or something.
And masks.
Yeah. Ryan at RMD Collective asked, doing a podcast episode of Celebration? We hope so. That's the plan. We hope we're going to apply for that if they are still doing the podcast stage, and hopefully we are honored to do that. If not, we'll certainly make a plan to do something. Mm-hmm. And even if we do a pop-up somewhere, we do plan on absolutely doing some form of the podcast, whether it's on the stage or elsewhere. So yes, I think that's the short answer, right, guys? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we were approved for the other one, so we don't know if they're going to carry it over or we have to start over. But
oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Brad Monastier at Brad Monastier nailed the pronunciation, right, Brad? I don't know. What are the chances the event returns to Indianapolis? Lacey?
I would say very low. Celebration used to travel around a lot before it was connected to Lucasfilm and Disney, specifically Disney. And now that it is, I think the farthest you're going to see it go is like Europe again, like 2016. But right now, I think you're going to see a lot of Florida, California, because it's connected to the theme park and they want to make more money and they'll drive you to that theme park.
So you don't think another Europe one will happen?
I said that was the only one that I would think that it might happen.
That might happen. Okay. But mostly Florida, California.
Yeah.
All right.
Indianapolis only happened. Oh, no, it happened twice, actually. Yeah, 2 and 3.
Why not? Andrew is from there. I think he would probably
would love that. It's not super far for us.
I've never been to Indianapolis. So
it's 2 hours for me. Hour and a half, maybe? Hour 45, something like that.
Son of a gun.
I would love if it traveled more, but I just don't think that's going to happen because Disney wants to keep it where they can control
Celebration
things.
Connecticut.
And the benefit of it being in Anaheim is that they don't have to pay travel for celebrity guests and big names and stuff like that. They can just drive them right from Burbank to
Mark Hamill in an Uber.
Basically,
as he has his Uber Eats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then again, Harrison Ford lives in Indianapolis. No, I'm just kidding.
He lives in like Montana. He'll fly in. He'll land on the stage.
Oh yeah. That's
Dylan Stanway at Rebo Band Hopeful. One day, Dylan. One day. The last celebration I went to was Celebration 6 in Orlando, and I haven't been since. How have things changed in regards to panels, show floor signings, that sort of stuff? So, Lacey, which one was 6? Which one was that?
it might have been the one with George Lucas that he was at Celebration. It might have been like, I know it by signage. It might have been the selfie signage, like with like all the characters doing a selfie, which I hated. It was like the party thing. But I mean, in regards to things that have changed over the years, even from 2015 to now, you have a bigger show, more big brands, more big celebrities, lots of signings, lots of autographs. Panels, especially the big ones, are all lottery based now. You can't just show up and go in. It's like you gotta plan ahead and get a ticket in and stuff like that. A lot of the big exclusives are lottery based. It's just grown to a point now that you can't just walk around and do whatever you want. And I think that's what a lot of fans that have stuck around over the years that are having trouble with is like, oh, I used to be able to just walk in and go to this panel, except for like the George Lucas panel. It's not like that anymore. You need to plan ahead, just like a theme park, and you need to figure out what you want to do, because there's only so many things that you'll get access to unless you have that VIP ticket, which is still pretty standard 2 years past is that VIP ticket.
Crazy.
Okay.
I don't think anything big happened at Celebration 6. It says they all have
2012.
Yeah, it's 2012. They all have little things here. Celebration 5
I think it was George Lucas.
5 was George Lucas announces 1 through 4 3D re-release. Or 1
Well,
through
you know
6.
what's funny? That this was August. This was 2 months before they announced he sold it to Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Which, did you see the article about that with Seth Rogen?
No.
Seth
Oh.
Rogen said that he talked to
did.
George Lucas, and George Lucas thought the world was going to end in 2012, and that he told Seth Rogen that he couldn't be on a spaceship if he made a spaceship to get off Earth. And then
Yeah.
you start thinking about it, and you're like, if he thought the world was going to end in 2012, did he sell Lucasfilm because he thought the world was going to end in 2012?
You didn't see
What?
this, John? Yeah. So Seth Rogen was going on about how...
It's something
he's
that's, like, scarred him.
He was trying to like joke with George, and George was very like, yes, like very matter of fact, like, and he's like, oh, George, well, if the world's gonna end, can we get on your spaceship? You surely have a spaceship,
no.
right? And he's like, no. Like,
And he seriously thought it was
as in,
gonna
like,
end.
No,
And then
you
you-
can't get on my spaceship.
Right,
Not
and
like,
then
no,
you
I don't have one.
You start to do the math, and you're like, wait, if he really thought it was going to end... What is that? Why he sold Lucasfilm? Because he was just like, you know what? I need the money to build my spaceship.
How high was Seth Rogen when he met George Lucas? That's what I would like to know.
I don't know, but I believe this story because he's had some crazy stories and they all end up being true.
Seth Rogen's like, ho, 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 ho.
Could you
all right,
imagine though? That's the reason he sold Lucasfilm is because he was
and that's why he's so mad today. He's like,
my spaceship didn't get to build it.
world
John
didn't
Cusack, you failed me.
end. Yeah. It's like, come on, Tarkin, you're supposed to hit Earth, not Alderaan. All right, last question here. Mando Golf at Wide Awake 1981. I did not experience that year. But anyway, will it be worth it for a first-time attendee? I read that we cannot wear cosplay helmets. I'm also worried there won't be photo opportunities with actors. That stuff can very well change in a year from now, first of all.
I think
so everyone
that,
needs to chill out with
the
that.
current way things are is how they're responding. I think a year from now, things could look very different either way. I'm going to be honest. But hopefully better. And that will change. But they can't say that you can wear cosplay helmets because they don't know if you're wearing a mask underneath. And they're not going to check every single helmet that walks through the door. Now, that really affects Celebration because all you have is troopers and everything else. Mando people, Mandalorians. But photo ops with opportunities with actors, I mean, that's going to be different too. Again, in a year, if Disney's back to doing their character meet and greets with people in full suits, then sure. Otherwise, no, they're not going to do that. I don't even think they'll do autographs unless you're like 6 feet away while they sign it or behind a plexiglass or something.
It's way too early to like Lacey said, whatever's on there now is how things are going now. A year
And
from
they
now,
have to say they're going to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be completely different, so I wouldn't worry about that. But James, let me ask you. You and I, it was our first time 2 years ago. Just point blank, is it worth it for a first-time attendee? I say if you can make it happen, even if you got to do I feel like every Star Wars fan should always attend at least one Star Wars celebration.
That's definitely true. If you've never been before, like the thing is like we had never gone because we were fans of Star Wars, but like we just whatever. But like as soon as the podcast happened, we're like, oh well, we have to go, And doing it, I was like, it was very much like, how have I never done this? Like it's Mecca, if you will. It's
so cool.
I can't explain it other than like any person taking any passion they have and being like, oh, I know a lot of people who like this, but that's like, but you don't have any idea what it's like when every single person in this giant stadium, it feels the same way you do,
Right.
It's nuts.
Right.
Yeah.
And people like, obviously this Mando Golf is on Twitter. Like it's, even if you're rubbed the wrong way about how fans are online, like Celebration is kind of like that revival of hope in how fans are. So it's always a good thing. All right, so that
Can I add one little thing that I think would be helpful?
You can.
Thank you. This is just for everybody because I saw people asking about it on Twitter and in Discord and whatnot, and I just feel like it's super helpful. Like I said earlier, they're going to put a lot of information out later, including their hotel block, which is through them. So that's why you can't get rooms in the Marriott and the Hyatt, which are right there in front of the convention center and in that plaza where all the stuff happens with the food trucks and whatnot. They're going to put that out later. My suggestion to everyone listening is if you're planning on going, book your hotel now somewhere else, even if it's a little bit of a walk away. Get it in there so that when you get to the hotel block and you book a hotel room inside their block, you can then cancel the other room and you're not left high and dry, because what happens is people hold out for that and then they're stuck. So don't wait, book something. You can get a free cancellation. We did it ourselves.
Yep.
It's super easy. And then worst case is you have a room that's not that far away. Like ours is a little farther than those hotels because those are right there, but it's still, pretty close. It's only a walk away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, if you want to get crazy, you can sublet it for the week and make a lot of money. I'm just kidding.
Or, usually what happens, like, I know within our community on Discord and stuff is people help each other out. So if someone needs a ticket, someone has an extra, or someone has something that they want to, someone needs a hotel room and we have an extra, we'll give it to someone, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So, great stuff. Good stuff. All right. That takes us to the end of the show. We want to obviously thank everybody, as always, for listening and watching and being a part of TRB. Make sure you are subscribed, whether it's your favorite audio platform or on YouTube. YouTube.com/Star Wars Newsnet videos. Let's get those subscriber count up. Mm-hmm. Like this video. We appreciate that. And leave a comment, of course, with your thoughts on what we talked about today. StarWarsNewsNet.com. Right there. For all of your Star Wars news, reviews, editorials, information, and more. All the articles that we ran through today in our news segment is from our website. So go check us out over there. You can find me on Twitter at Johnny Hoey and writing and editing at StarWarsNewsNet.com. And my movie podcast, Just Like the Movies. We recently did an episode on Ghostbusters. Go check that out on, again, any podcast platform you prefer. James, where are you at?
Well, I'm always listening to Just Like the Movies. I had so many comments on that Ghostbusters one. Like,
oh, thanks, man.
Is Groundhog Day maybe his biggest movie? I don't know. Anyway, Bill Murray, that is. No, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Myra Trunks, and also doing Bad Batch reactions. So we watched the Bad Batch on Friday. So if you guys want to go check out my reaction to episode 3, you can check that out on the channel right now.
Nice. Lacey, now that you have your lightsaber, what's going on?
Well, not yet. People can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Lacey Gilleran. Hopefully this week. I know I'll have my Mando helmet today, so this week I should have some unboxing videos coming, including that and the Rey lightsaber. And I'm really excited for Celebration next year for lots of cool stuff. And also, I will be a mom by then.
Oh. What? No, we already.
So I am expecting my first child in November. I know.
Yeah.
How did we get here, guys?
We didn't know long before, though. Man.
How did we get here?
Yeah.
And that announcement was a
that's
surprise too. We did not expect you
great.
to say it on the show right then. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
oh
and
man.
it'd be weird. Yeah, we have to say congratulations on
Yes.
the show, so they're not like, "Why didn't you guys say congratulations?"
yeah.
Oh,
we
I didn't
did
want to make a
already.
big deal at the beginning. I just wanted
Yeah.
to throw it in at the end.
Well, according to our analytics, 50% of the people stick around to the very end. So 50% of our audience knows that Lacey Gilleran is having a little one later this year. So congrats
Wow.
again, Lacey.
Congratulations.
Thank you. In time
And,
for Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, right. Are we doing a word of the
That's
day?
a bedtime story. A word of the day?
Baby.
story.
Yeah, I was gonna say just baby.
Baby.
That
All
works.
right. So if you listen to the end, you're a diehard, and you're gonna write baby in the comments. So people will be like, why do you say baby? And you're gonna say because I'm a diehard of TRB.
Baby G could be baby Grogu, could be baby Gilleran.
It could be.
So fun fact, it would actually be Baby Shay.
Well,
would be
okay, yeah.
True.
But yes,
Yeah.
I will be having
All right.
my own little Grogu. That would be weird though if I birthed a Grogu, but I'd be okay with it. I think.
So are you going on record saying you're not going to name your baby Grogu?
I am not gonna
Okay.
name my baby Grogu, and that's
one
like
down.
the hardest
That one-
part right now
Yeah,
is
off the
names.
list. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
right now, unnamed.
Yeah. You can name your baby Solo 2, so you can say you made Solo 2 happen.
Now that wins is the dumbest thing you've ever said. Yay
I mean,
me!
I'm always here to set the bar. All right,
Yeah.
we're going to be back on Thursday to talk about. Actually, we're going to have a little bit of more of a serious conversation. We're going to talk about found family in Star Wars. So gear up for that. Think about that. Enjoy your weeks, and we'll see you Thursday morning right here on TRB. We'll see you around, kids.